Shannon from Sweet Scarlet Baking. Let's decorate cookies together. Today we're going to decorate these cherry spring cookies. We're going to start with the rainbow cookie. I'm going to do the clouds first. So I need to cut open my bag. I'm going to do the white. So put the seam of the bag on top here and then flatten it out. So you have this seam right here. And then you're going to make the smallest cut on the end of the bag. You can always cut the hole bigger, but if you cut it too big, then you won't be able to do the details that you need to do. Alright, so I'm just going to outline the cloud all the way around the edge of the cookie, and then I'll have to create my own scallops here on the inside, and then I'm going to fill that in all the way around. Same on the other side. I've got my outline, and I'm just going to press a little harder on my bag. Same small opening to fill it in. And while it's still wet, I'm going to go ahead and add some sprinkles to stick to my clouds. And then I'm going to set this aside to dry and move on to the heart cookie. I'm going to use the red for my heart cookie, so again I'm going to find that seam, put it on top, flatten it out, and make a nice small cut on the end of my bag. Right, so I'm going to outline all the way around the edge of my cookie. About royal icing is it tends to dry quickly once the icing hits the air. So the faster you can work with it and still have control, the smoother your cookie will be. So you can use a toothpick to kind of poke any of the little spots where the icing didn't fill in. Just lightly move around with the tip of the toothpick. And then if you need to, you can even shake your cookie a little bit to get the icing nice and smooth. So then I'm going to add some polka dots to my cookie with the white. And then I'm going to take my toothpick and just drag it through each polka dot to make it kind of look like a little heart. I like to wipe my toothpick off in between each drag just to keep my color clear. Super cute. I think I'll give him a little bit of sprinkles on the corner here. I'm gonna go back to my rainbow cookie. We've given the white a little bit of time to dry. So I'm gonna do the center color of my rainbow, which is the orange. So again, I'm gonna flatten the bag with the seam on top and cut a little bit off. And then I'm just gonna kind of gauge where I would like the center kind of stripe of my rainbow to be. Maybe like that. And then I'm gonna fill it in. The thing about royal icing is you have to let each section dry in between so that the colors don't run together and bleed, and also so that it just kind of creates some dimension. So I'm just gonna leave it at that and let it dry and go on to the butterfly. So with the butterfly, I'm gonna use a wet on wet technique called marbling. So I'm gonna go ahead and kind of put all the colors on there. I'm gonna start with the white and just kind of do around the edges. This cookie is one where you want to work quickly and do all the colors at once, because we're going to kind of mash them all together. But like the rainbow that we're doing in sections, it's best if you can let sections dry about 20 minutes in between. Or if you have a dehydrator or a small table fan, you can just put the fan on your cookies to help them dry a little bit faster. For the sake of the video, I'm just going to keep going. Do a little bit of white. And then I'll come with my orange. A little more white. And then finally, I'm going to fill in the rest with the yellow. Alright, then I'm going to take my toothpick and I'm just going to lightly drag it through the center of each one. And then another on the side. Alright, then I'm just going to shake my cookie a little bit to kind of help those grooves go back into each other. Got a little bit coming off the edge here, so I'm just gonna swipe it with my finger. If I have any pockets that aren't smoothing out with the shaking, I can kind of just poke them with the tip of my toothpick. maybe a touch more icing right there. Kind of a big hole. Alright, so I'm going to set that aside to dry before I do the body of the butterfly, and I'll go back to the rainbow. So now I'm going to do the other two colors of the rainbow. I'm going to do the red on the top. And the yellow on the bottom. And then we have our completed rainbow cookie. For the body of the butterfly, I'm going to do 5 circles. So I'm going to do the center circle, and the top and the bottom. And then we're going to let that dry a little bit, and we'll come back and do the other 2 circles. All right, once you've let those dry a little bit, you can come back and add one in between of each. So there's our completed butterfly cookie. Here are our royal icing cheery spring cookies. I hope that you enjoyed decorating these with me.